$1,000 a month. That's all it took for her to be able to retire. I'm telling you right now, this is great. So I was working with this lady yesterday. We'll call her Sarah. All right, Sarah's single, got no kids, and a nice lady. And she just wanted to make sure she didn't run out of money. And when we run the initial plan, it came in bad. It's like, man, it was all zeros across the board. And so I got to ask her and said, we got you spending a lot. You know what I'm saying? I said, you sure you're spending that much? So she's only on a small pension right now. She's a retired school teacher. She's a small pension, about $2,000 a month. I said, how much you pulling? And she's not on Social Security yet. She's in a state where she paid into Social Security. I said, how much you pulling each year from your portfolio? She goes, about $20,000 a year. I said, you taking on debt? She goes, no. I said, what? We got you spending $80,000 a year, and yet you're only pulling $20,000 from a portfolio to supplement the basically $2,000 a month you're getting on your pension. That's not anywhere near the $80,000. And she's on Cobra now, and she'll be on Medicare shortly, so we can add the extra $5,000-$6,000 a year for Medicare if we want, but it's still not even anywhere near the $80,000. I was like, what are you doing here? She goes, well, I was hoping to have $5,500 a month. It's $66,000 a year. All right, so $66,000, and there's some reason she wants to have that increase, and what I'm not going to get into is okay, gotcha. Well, $66,000 a year, $5,500 a month. That's all inclusive. She goes, yeah. So that's not what we're showing you. We're showing you at $5,500 a month plus healthcare, plus income taxes. And I said, we're overestimating your costs. She goes, oh, no, I don't need that. So we reduced it from basically, it was like $80,000 a year to $68,000 a year. The difference in that $1,000 a month, watch what happens. Changed everything, all right? And this isn't, she's still living off about $66,000 a year, which includes healthcare and includes a vacation goal, all that. Now, she might need a little bit more money on top of that, and that's fine, but I don't think so. I mean, I'm saying, well, you only spent $45,000 last year. And again, we have a reason that she needs a bump up, and I'm not going to get into it, but I said, yeah. Anyway, so the point being was, I said, that $1,000 a month made all the difference. Now, you might say, but Josh, what if she did need the $80,000 a year? Want to see something crazy? Watch this. I have her spending $80,000 a year initially, and she has 88% probability of success. Why? It's because we put these guardrails in here. We put the guardrails. So let me explain again how the guardrails work. So again, I don't think she's going to need the guardrails simply because I don't think she's going to come anywhere near spending that kind of money. But let's just say she did, or she wants to for some reason. That's okay. She might want to go to the casinos. I don't know, whatever. But anyway, let's just say we do want to spend the kind of money we initially showed in there, which I think is way over what she's going to spend. So what guardrails consist of essentially is pretty simple. When the markets go down, all right, your portfolio, the portfolio and the markets are one and the same in this case. When the markets go down, you do not give yourself an increase with inflation. That's what the guardrails say. When the markets go down, you don't give yourself an increase with inflation. All right. When the markets go back up, you can give yourself an increase with inflation. And again, inflation, I don't like using CPI, but we'll just use that. Part two, if the markets go down, and you can do this however you want, and Right Capital I have a little bit differently than Guyton initially did, but if the markets go down where you're taking, and what I'm using in Right Capital, your withdrawal distribution is more than 40% less, or more, more than 40% of your initial withdrawal distribution, all right? Then you reduce your spending by 10%. So let me share with you what that means. So if we have a portfolio, let me get my calculator, portfolio, she had about $250,000, and we times that by 0.05. All right, so we're taking, 250, let me pause it. 5% of 250,000 is 12,500. All right, so that's our we're starting with 5%. We'll just use this for an example. All right, so we're saying we're going to take 12,500 from our portfolio initially. All right, now if we're taking more than 7%, so our portfolio, let's say our portfolio now is at 300,000. All right, so we're going to hit C here. Oops, that guy right there, $300,000, and now we're taking times 7%. Now we're taking 21,000 or more from the portfolio. Then we got to reduce our portfolio withdrawals by 10%. I hope that makes sense. So again, if you're taking 5% initially out and then you find yourself taking more than 7% at some point, you got to reduce your portfolio withdrawals by 10%. No more than 10%, just 10%. All right. On the other hand, again, if the portfolio drops in value, you don't necessarily have to give yourself a reduction in your expenses. You just can't give yourself a bump up. You stay flat. Again, so if you're 40% more than what the initial withdrawal rate was, you reduce your expenses by 10%. If the portfolio just goes south for any given year, you don't have to give yourself a reduction. Just don't increase it for inflation or whatever. All right. So if we do that, I just showed you, we had that 80, what was it? Hold on a sec. We had this 88% probability of success with just those rules put in there. I mean, so again, I think, and that's with spending a lot more than I think she will, because she's not even coming. That's like double her spending from right today. So I was talking to these guys today, husband and wife in South Carolina, just crushing. He's trying to retire here pretty soon. And they just, again, they have a small mortgage. They pay about $850 on a mortgage, only like $100,000 left on it. The cars are paid. They just don't spend that much. They still want to travel a little bit and whatnot. I gave them $10,000 a year for an extra slush fund. Between he and his wife, they're going to have, roughly $60,000 a year in Social Security. They need $80,000 a year to live on. So they're only taking $20,000 from their portfolio. Now they both have smaller pensions that are going to go the way of the dodo bird because the guys who ran the pension suck, and the pension is going to be exhausted at some point. Going back to, we all need a pension. I'm like, oh yeah, ERISA was supposed to solve that. Oh, that's weird how it's not, isn't it not? Yes, it is. And yes, it is. It's not PBGC. I don't know why. I don't care. Don't need to know. But at the end of the day, the pension is insolvent and will stop paying in about 5 to 6 years. So while the pension is still kicking in, that gives them more than enough than they need from their portfolio. They don't need anything from their portfolio because Social Security gives them $60,000. They need roughly $80,000, $90,000. Their pension is giving them roughly $25,000 a year. So they don't need anything from the portfolio. Once that portfolio goes away, they're going to need $20,000 to $25,000 a year from their portfolio. High end, by the way, because they live pretty frugally, and I gave them a pretty big slush fund. That means they need $625,000 in their portfolio at a 4%, and that's just 4%. I mean that's what did I say? It's 4%. They need 4%. So if they're going to take, I don't like 4%. What am I doing? Hold on a second. Even I fell into the 4% trap. They need $500,000 in their portfolio to take 5% a year off, $25,000 bucks. They can do that. So $60,000 roughly from Social Security, $25,000 from their portfolio. That's $85,000 bucks. That's probably well more than they're going to spend because I've given a pretty big slush fund. They'll need $500,000 bucks in their portfolio, and they're good to go without question. I mean, and then their tax rates are so low because Social Security provides the bulk of their income. That means the bulk of their income is not taxable. Freaking fantastic. But against the expenses, I cannot stress the expenses. The thing with the lady, Sarah, that I was working with is that all her money is in pre-tax money, and she's single, so anything she takes out is taxed as ordinary income. And that's a problem because if we start pulling big money out of there, she's going to have big taxes to pay. And that big tax to pay has to come from the portfolio, which reduces the portfolio even more. That's why I say pay the tax now while you got the free cash flow. The last thing we want is when you're retired, now you got your big tax bill to pay. We don't want that to happen because that it makes your withdrawal distributions higher because of tax man. Anyway, love your thoughts. Hope this helps. I tell you, man, get your expenses. Know your expenses. Why? If you pay off debt, your expenses immediately get reduced. If you pay off debt to the IRS, your expenses in retirement get reduced. Pay it now while you have the ability to pay it. Later on, you just don't know. All right, love your thoughts. We'll see you.